My husband's younger sister was the family's little princess. She had kidney failure, and my husband didn't hesitate to give her our daughter's kidney. He said, "You can live with one kidney." Later, my daughter also suffered from kidney failure, but no one helped her. His family didn't even want to pay for her medication. She took her own life, and I lost my mind. My husband was cozying up with his sister's friend. During one of their gatherings, I poisoned them with arsenic. Then I woke up, back on the day before my daughter was supposed to donate her kidney. I was killed by my husband, Jack. It was a gruesome death. My head hit the wall, and my blood splattered onto his face, which looked terrifying. With a face full of hatred, he said, "Cindy, are you crazy?" I laughed and coughed, blood oozing from my mouth. "Mary is dead. We all deserve to die." It hurt, but I was happy. I could finally be with her. My husband's sister, mother-in-law, husband's mistress, all dead. Jack wouldn't survive either. Trading my life for 4, I didn't regret it. When I opened my eyes again, I was in the bathroom washing up. I was stunned looking at my familiar yet strange face. Seeing the date on the phone beside me, tears streamed down. April 11th, 2023, tomorrow they would trick my daughter into the hospital and take out her kidney. I immediately booked a flight for 2 hours later. The only one today, couldn't afford to miss it. I handed over my work to a colleague. A promotion is nothing compared to my daughter Mary. There was no time to pack. I just grabbed my ID and phone and flew. Once I was on the plane, I couldn't hold back my tears. I prayed silently, "Mary, wait for me." I closed my eyes and began planning revenge. I was going to rescue my daughter and not let those people off the hook. When the plane landed, I felt a slight relief. It was Monday. Mary was still in school. I took a cab straight to the school. I had to get my daughter out early and take her somewhere safe. I called her homeroom teacher, Lily, but she didn't pick up, so I texted her, "Lily, there's an important family matter. Mary needs a week off. I'm coming to pick her up now." By the time I was almost at the school, Lily called back. "Hi, Mary's parent." I couldn't answer because I was teaching. "Your husband already excused her yesterday. She didn't come to school today." My heart sank. I didn't expect them to move so fast. I hung up and quickly called my friend. "Fiona, this is urgent. Can you check the patient list at Berlin Hospital? See if Mary and Lisa have room numbers?" Berlin Hospital was where they did the transplant in my past life. Lisa is my husband's sister, someone I can't stand. "Okay, don't worry. Give me half an hour." She didn't ask anything, she just understood me. I told the driver to head home quickly. I kept praying with my eyes closed. Let my daughter be at home, waiting for me. When I got out of the car, my legs felt like jelly. I stumbled and opened the door. The house was empty. Mary must have been taken to the hospital. I splashed my face with cold water in the bathroom. Then I grabbed all documents, bank cards, and jewelry from the bedroom, including the gold I gave to my mother-in-law and sister-in-law. They don't deserve it. I bought it. I can take it back. Just when I got in the car, my friend called. "Cindy, room 413 at Berlin Hospital. I'm on my way there, don't worry." I had someone check. Mary is safe now. I let out a small took a deep breath, and started the car. "Thanks, Fiona. I'll be there in half an hour." When I got to the hospital, my friend was waiting for me at the entrance. She gave me a gentle hug, and we rushed to room 413. "Mary, look, Dad got you a new iPad with 50 games in it. You can play when you wake up tomorrow." "Dad, will it hurt? Am I a good kid if I give my kidney to Aunt?" "It won't hurt at all, and I'll take you to eat fried chicken, burgers, hot pot." My blood boiled hearing how he tricked our daughter into giving her kidney to his sister. How could he be her father? He's worse than an animal. I kicked the door open, and Jack's face immediately darkened. In a quiet tone, he said, "Aren't you on a business trip? Why didn't you let me know you were back?" I slapped him across the face. Slap. Jack looked stunned. My friend stood with my daughter by the door. I said coldly, "Who gave you the right to swap Mary's kidney?" He touched his face. "I'm her dad. I gave her life. It's just a kidney, why not?" I remembered last time he watched our daughter's health decline, refusing to pay for medical bills, blaming Mary for not taking care of herself. He said, "Why do others live fine with one kidney, but you can't?" I yelled, fought, but more than anything, I wanted Mary to survive. I didn't want to waste time. I borrowed money everywhere, looking for a cure, leaving no stone unturned. Meanwhile, they complained Mary was a burden. The money should be spent on his sister's health. When I got back, exhausted, Mary had jumped from the 28th floor, her body shattered. I held her ashes, reading the note she left, crying for 3 days. "Dear Mom, I love you. I don't want you begging for money. I regret giving my kidney to Aunt. Dad isn't a good person. He doesn't love either of us. Leave him. I am a burden." I wish you happiness and don't want to be dad's daughter anymore. I could have let him go to jail, but I wasn't satisfied. So, I lost my mind, and they all died. The hopelessness from before surged back, and I kicked him where it hurts, grabbing his hair and attacking him. It hurts. Doctor, save me. Cindy, are you crazy? I'll report you. You're going to jail. Doing jail time? Mary is only 13 and really can't get a kidney transplant. They faked the documents and had someone cheat for them to make it happen. Just wait until the cops show up and see who lands in jail. In my past life, all my energy went into money and Mary, and now that my daughter is okay, all I want is to finish them. I kicked him hard again in the lower part. He doesn't deserve to be called a dad, and he should just be ruined. It hurts. The man's voice got quieter as he seemed about to pass out from the pain. I spat coldly. She doesn't have a dad. Her dad is dead, and Jack's family should be too. Just as I was about to kick him again, a furious voice roared from the doorway. Cindy, what do you think you're doing? It was my mother-in-law with my sister-in-law. Great, they walked right in by themselves. I was going to have to head over there anyway. I turned and gave them a sweet smile. Can't you see? I'm beating up some scum. My mother-in-law's face turned coal black and she marched over, raising her hand as if to slap me. I kicked Jack hard one more time. Go ahead and hit me, but if you do, I'll cripple him for sure. Her eyes were bloodshot, and her hand shook. You evil woman, may you die a miserable death. I'll ship you to a red light district for everyone to crush. I let out a cold laugh and kicked Jack again. What? Sins of the mother should fall on the son? Sounds about right. Keep going. It hurts. Mom, get her out of here. She's gone nuts. I laughed. Yeah, I've lost it. I'd kill without thinking twice. My mother-in-law was shaking, slowly backing away and sticking close to my sister-in-law. I'm your elder. Do you dare hit me? You'll get payback. Payback? I kicked again. Talk nicely, or I'll beat him to death. The room fell quiet. Yep, the soft fear the strong fear the ravenous, and the ravenous fear those with nothing to lose. My sister-in-law forced a smile. Sis-in-law, calm down. Let's talk it through like family. What can't be resolved? I turned to her, my expression ice cold. Nothing to talk about. Mary's kidney isn't yours to have. Her smile vanished. She nudged my mother-in-law with her elbow. I gave my best friend a look, signaling her to take Mary away. These people would do anything for my sister-in-law. Mary was scared, but my mind was filled with scenes from my past life. I couldn't hold back. Mary shook her head hard, refusing to leave. I knew she was worried about me getting hurt and had some concern for Jack. Right now, Jack's family wasn't showing their worst behavior, and in her mind, Jack was still her dad. A burly guy appeared behind my best friend, and she gave me a reassuring wink. Kids have to grow. If she didn't want to leave, it might not be a bad thing to let her see this. My mother-in-law fondly looked at Mary and said, don't worry about this. We've agreed to the transplant tomorrow. Mary is a good granddaughter. She knows her aunt treats her well and can't stand to see her sick. She volunteered to donate. Hearing this made me want to puke, so I kicked Jack hard again. The man couldn't even scream, only pant heavily to prove he was still alive. My sister-in-law looked paler and forced a smile. Sis-in-law, don't kick him. It's my fault for getting sick. I'm the one dragging this family down. If not getting a transplant makes you happy, I'll do it. I let out a cold laugh. No wonder she was everyone's favorite. She sure could put on an act. Oh, coming back to life. How can I stop myself from laughing? I cleared my throat. Just talk properly, and I won't kick him. And it is your problem. Your kidney deal isn't happening. Figure another way. Tears streamed from my sister-in-law's eyes, while my mother-in-law ached for her. Even the half-conscious Jack opened his eyes. My mother-in-law pulled her daughter into her arms, patting her back. Don't cry, baby. Since Mary agreed to donate, her kidney is yours. An old lady like me can't even get her granddaughter's kidney? What right do I have to live? Then just go die. Jack shot me a disgusted look. You selfish, nasty woman. It's like we're cursed to have married you. You better agree to the transplant, or I'll call the police and have you locked up. Mary will still have to listen to me then. You know she can live with one kidney. Why get so worked up? I crossed my arms, my gaze icy. How did I ever think this man was someone to rely on? I was young and blinded by the seemingly harmonious family. My sister-in-law was only 12, a late-life child for my mother-in-law, with sparkly eyes that everyone adored. They'd share food and tease each other, laughing together. I was an orphan, and I admired that. I always dreamed of a family like that. My mother-in-law used to laugh and say, Cindy, our family is a bit noisy, but everyone is nice. Hope you don't mind. I didn't mind and even helped with my sister-in-law. The family vibe was okay until my daughter was born. They still favored my sister-in-law, ignoring my baby. Mary was well-behaved, never cried or fussed, and wore the hand-me-downs her aunt didn't like. I wanted better for her, working day and night. Later, I found out they bullied Mary. All the nice stuff I worked hard to buy, they gave it to my sister-in-law. Mary helped since she was 2 and became her personal maid. Once I knew, I had her live at school, slowly reshaping her values and worldview. The boarding school upset my sister-in-law, who claimed my action made her sick. I ignored her. I wanted to advance my career to take Mary out of there. In my past life, I came home with an operations director offer, finding Mary pale and lying on the bed. "Mom," she said smiling, "I'm a good kid, right? You wouldn't leave me, right?" I was filled with rage. Just seeing their faces made me want to hit them. When Jack was off balance, I slapped him down to the floor again. I glared at him. "We're divorcing tomorrow. Only grandkids stay if they refuse. I already called the cops for you. Later, you guys better explain why a 13-year-old kid is getting a kidney transplant. If you think kidneys aren't important, how about cutting one out yourself?" I'd toss it to a dog. A bunch of jerks, only know how to bully kids. My sister-in-law slipped out from my mother-in-law's arms, looking all innocent. "Sis, you can't divorce. We're a good family. We can't just fall apart like this. Why'd you call the cops? This is all family stuff. I'm not taking her kidney. I just wanted Mary to chat with me." "Yeah, right." I believed her for a second. My sister-in-law is the most cunning of them all. Being the family's favorite isn't something just anyone can do. "Step aside, clear the way." "Who called the police?" A strict voice suddenly came from the doorway. I sighed deeply. "You're the ones who talked about divorce, and you're also the ones who wanted to call the cops. The cops are here now, isn't that what you wanted?" My sister-in-law's face kept getting paler, like she might faint at any moment. I was about to explain things to the police when Jack jumped forward. He pointed at me and yelled, "Officer, I want an injury assessment. This woman beat me up. I want to accuse her of trying to murder her husband, lock her up forever." I looked at him, feeling cold. It's all my fault he can still jump around. I should have put on some pointy heels and kicked a few more times, really mess him up. "No worries, there's still time. Jack is quite capable, but I don't respect the chances heaven gives." My mother-in-law collapsed on the ground, crying so hard she couldn't breathe. "Officer, you need to uphold justice for us. Otherwise, I'm gonna die right here." My sister-in-law wiped her tears and whispered softly, "Officer, my sister-in-law didn't mean it. Couples argue all the time. We can settle this ourselves." She was signaling my mother-in-law with her eyes the whole time. I let out a soft TSK. Then I raised my hand and said loudly, "Officer, they conspired with the hospital to fake documents and tricked a 13-year-old into donating a kidney. I want to accuse them of intentional harm." My mother-in-law slapped the floor, shouting, "We didn't do it. How could we? Don't just spout nonsense." Jack leaned on the wall, no warmth in his eyes. "Officer, don't listen to her nonsense. Mary is my daughter. I wouldn't hurt her." I clapped for them. They're really something. Well, I recorded everything just now. Their faces dropped instantly. My mother-in-law glared at me, and Jack chuckled nervously. Mary volunteered. "We're her family. How could we force her? The most disgusting kind of people are those who feed on others' suffering." I smiled as I played the recording, their faces growing darker by the second. My sister-in-law fainted on the spot. My mother-in-law and Jack were in a panic. "I bet she's faking it 90%. Lucky for her, it happened at a hospital, or faking wouldn't help her at all." Nurses whisked her to the emergency room in no time. The 2 remaining wanted to follow, but I blocked their way. "One of you has to go to the police station and make everything clear about the kidney transplant." I knew even if we went to the station, because the kidney transplant hadn't happened yet, they might not go to jail. But still, I needed this on record. It's crucial evidence for divorcing and getting custody of Mary. And that doctor, I won't let him off the hook either. If he faked Mary's records, who knows how many other victims there are. Mother-in-law clutched her chest in fury. "Cindy, be a decent human. Lisa's on the brink. We haven't even talked about the assault, and you're meddling like this. Ha! They're worse than animals, so why should I act human? Her life or death is none of my business. You guys called the cops, can't handle it now. You must go to the station today to give Mary an explanation and promise to never target her kidney again." As soon as I said that, the mother-son duo lunged at me like crazy. No idea what struck a nerve. If they dared to hit me, I'd yell domestic violence. Fortunately, 2 officers stopped them. The police took Jack for an injury assessment. He claimed, "Look, it's swollen, all red and painful, definitely serious. I'll have her jailed." I coldly replied, "If it's not serious, should I continue?" The man wilted instantly. Mother-in-law gave us the coldest look. My best friend came over with Mary and a big guy. This is Leo. He also does detective work. Any issues, you can find him. I was pleasantly surprised, gave her a thumbs up. That's my best friend for you. Leo shot Fiona a look, then smiled. While we have time, let's piece everything together again. I nodded and quickly told him everything I knew. Mary listened, shocked by my words. I held my daughter's hand tightly. At that moment, I truly felt like I was back. This time, I'd die before letting her get hurt. Mary, kidneys are vital to you. Never give yours to anyone. One kidney means overworking, risk of numerous diseases, even kidney failure. This isn't an exaggeration. Mary's past kidney failure was due to overstrain. Seeing my serious face, Mary nodded obediently. I hugged her tightly. If I lost you, I'd die too. By the time we finished eating, the injury report was in. Jack looked utterly stunned, disbelief on his face. I calmly took it. Minor injury, soft tissue damage, partial organ dysfunction. I had expected this result, serious injury, and he wouldn't be up and about. If only I knew Leo was backing me, I'd have kicked him till he was wrecked. At the police station, Leo handed over the footage he'd recorded from the back, plus Mary's hospital records and some receipts. Mary showed her phone, with chat logs proving they tricked her into the transplant. Jack clutched his groin, groaning, I need another assessment. It's worse than just minor. We didn't know a minor couldn't donate a kidney. It was all Leon's idea. Yeah, totally his fault. Jack threw his friend from the Berlin hospital under the bus to reduce his own punishment. He dumped all the responsibility on Leon, even handing over their chat logs to the cops himself. Poor Leon, he must have the worst luck to have ever decided to help Jack. The police officer's eyes lit up. The opportunity for a closed case was too good to pass up. I didn't expect Jack to cave so easily. A little pressure and he spilled everything. The police ended up opening a case against the hospital, while Jack just got a record and a 15-day detention. What can you do? He had a scapegoat friend. The chat logs perfectly cleared him from any wrongdoing. I bet his sister-in-law taught him that. As for his injuries, they were chalked up to a marital spat. The police just said a couple of things to me and wrapped it up. I was a bit frustrated, wishing I'd hit him harder. As I got the stamped receipt, I said calmly, see you at the civil affairs office when you get out. Mary's coming with me, plus I want 200,000. No way, unless she gives her kidney to my sister, he said, stubbornly. Did you forget what the officer said? You can't donate live organs under 18. He just snorted, not budging on the divorce. I knew it wouldn't be that easy. Then I'll see you in court, I said, taking Mary with me. She wanted to say something but couldn't get it out. As soon as we got in the car, Mary hesitantly said, Mom, I can give her a kidney. I don't want you fighting because of me. I gently patted her head. Mary, remember, you can't give an organ to anyone. You'd get sick, and it could be deadly. If something happened to you, what would my life be for? Sigh, I raised her too kind. I need to rethink my parenting approach. Fiona, my best friend, cleared her throat, bringing me back to the moment. Leo, can you help us move? We girls are in a bit of danger. The guy nodded in agreement. Yeah, you're right, you're dangerous. I burst out laughing, retrieving a self-defense tool from the glove compartment. I was too rushed earlier, forgot to bring it out. Otherwise, Leo scratched his head. I'm strong, I'm awesome at moving. Everyone in the car laughed, especially Fiona, who was practically rolling. With no one at home, we got everything moved out in under 3 hours. We're crashing at my best friend's place, with Leo conveniently living right next door, which puts my mind at ease. Leo helped find a school, placing Mary in the same class as his nephew. The kid is only 14, but already 5 feet 9 inches and muscular. He shyly said, Aunt Cindy, I'll definitely protect Mary. I've been practicing martial arts with Grandpa since I was little. No wonder Leo's so buff, must have trained young too. It's my first time seeing a lawyer this solid. It's comforting. I left the divorce case completely to Leo, and he's also digging for evidence of Jack's cheating. Vivian, the sister-in-law's friend, once pointed at my nose saying, you're just a washed-up old wife, ugly and dumb. We've been together for 3 years and you never noticed. I was always busy with work and spent the rest of my time with Mary, leaving little attention for him. Coming back this time, both of them will face consequences. A week later, my mother-in-law and sister-in-law showed up at my office. Trying to threaten me, Lisa looked pale and shaky, like she could collapse any moment. Sis-in-law, why not come back? We're family. I wouldn't be related to them if my life depended on it. Don't call me that. Vivian's your new family now. And don't let my daughter donate a kidney. Surely Vivian's friends have one that fits. The sister-in-law turned even paler, her voice faltering. There must be a misunderstanding, sis-in-law. My brother loves you. You're our only family. The mother-in-law couldn't take it and snorted, Lisa's too kind, worried you'd be homeless. Some people just don't know how to be thankful, deserve to freeze or starve. Her voice was loud, and coworkers passing by were eagerly gossiping. I smiled and said, "Aunt, I'd rather starve than go back to your place. The divorce is happening, and Mary is coming with me. Last time, Jack went all out and it was only a minor injury. I wonder how tough you are. I'm crazy and know the risks. Don't think I'm blind to your schemes. Bad deeds catch up eventually." My words made the mother-in-law furious, and she raised her hand to slap. But feeling good, I sidestepped and she fell over. With a loud thud, it probably hurt. She stayed down and wailed loudly. "Somebody, this daughter-in-law is hitting me." The sister-in-law softly said, "No matter if you divorce, Mary is still our Jack family's granddaughter. Let her be with us. Seeing her helps me eat. I promise we won't take her kidney." I knew their goal was Mary, or more precisely, her kidney. This place is dangerous, but not deadly yet. I can't leave. Time to step things up. Since the sister-in-law's been bored after her release. I glanced at her and seriously said, "I don't believe you. Leopards don't change spots." After booting them out with security, I took leave for a trip to the red light district. Found a nice-looking guy for her, with specific requests. Must be diseased, seriously diseased. Seeing his medical report and ID, I decided to give him a shot. Told him to pose as a sweet and wealthy guy, $500 a day, with a $5,000 bonus for sleeping over. His looks fit Lisa's taste down to a T, guaranteed to make her lose control. Just as I walked out, I suddenly remembered my sister-in-law's best friend. How could I forget her for something this good? After thinking it over, I felt that the guy from before seemed more reliable. Taking on 2 jobs at once wasn't out of the question. Good friends know how to share. The guy beamed with a big smile, promising repeatedly he'd get the job done. It only took him 5 days, and he sent me some cozy photos. I didn't expect him to move so quickly, handling 2 women already. I happily transferred the money to him and asked him to keep it going a few more times. I could afford it. The day after Jack got out of detention, they showed up at my company. Security kept them outside. I didn't want to see them, but when they wouldn't leave, risking the company image, I decided to meet them at the cafe next door. Jack looked like he lost a ton of weight, aged at least a decade. These past 2 weeks must have been tough for him. Good, Leo's taking care of things. I can trust him. He sighed, "Cindy, I've been reflecting every day inside. I know I was wrong, and I'll treat you and our daughter better from now on. I was wrong, please come back." I didn't respond, just looked at him with a cryptic smile. My sister-in-law's face turned a rosy red, giggling foolishly at times. She said seriously, "Sister-in-law, I'm seeing someone new. His family can help me find a kidney. You guys can come back. I've always cared deeply for Mary." Sipping my coffee, I looked skeptically at the sibling duo across the table. "Really don't get you two. You have Vivian and you have a new guy. Why keep seeking trouble? Can't everyone just live their own lives?" They looked pretty embarrassed. A sly move from the fox. I didn't believe a word they said. Jack downed his iced Americano in one go. "I'm just fooling around with her. You and the kid are the ones I truly love. If you come back, I'll break things off with her, and we'll never speak again." He was disgusting. Last night's noodles felt like they were coming back up. Turning to my sister-in-law, I said, "You're facing kidney failure and someone's willing to date you. Cherish him." Lisa let out a low laugh, happily nodding. As long as their relationship was good, I felt at ease. I left with one final remark, "Jack, the court has taken our case. Don't meet up unless necessary. Seeing you makes me sick. Next time I see you, expect me to call the cops." Returning to the office, I ended the guy's side gig, sending him a hefty red envelope as a reward. Using my backup phone, I sent Vivian's cozy photos with the guy to my sister-in-law. In less than 10 seconds, her messages started flooding in. "Who are you? These pics must be photoshopped. Is this his ex-girlfriend? I'm deeply in love with him. You have no chance. Where are you? I want to find you. Vivian isn't like this. You definitely edited those. Are you Vivian? You tramp, daring to steal my man. Tell me what's going on. If you don't reply, I'll go to the police." Quite worked up, huh? Watching a dog-eat-dog fight like this, my favorite pastime. I send over a few more provocative photos, then flushed the SIM card down the toilet. In the middle of the night, I was woken by a call. Still groggy, I hit the answer button and heard Jack's voice on the other end. "Cindy, my sister went out and fainted when she came back. The doctor says it's serious. Can you bring Mary to see her?" Ha! In his dreams. "Mary won't see them in this lifetime." I coolly replied, "We're no doctors. Seeing her won't help. You should figure out what she did out there and help her untangle her emotions." Jack agreed repeatedly. Hope he enjoys the surprise. He tried again later to get us to see her, but I just hung up. Ugh, what a nerve. The next day, Leo messaged me, "Jack's back in custody." Apparently, he broke 2 of Vivian's ribs, pulled out half her hair, and even carved slut on her face. Look at that, she steps out on him once, and he goes nuts. He's been cheating on me for years. Should I have torn him to pieces? Leo assured me not to worry. Even if Jack ends up in prison, the divorce proceedings could still go on with a default judgment. Last time Jack was in jail, he sold out his friends entirely. Even Leon's suspended now, and he's hunting for Jack. I'm such a good person, gladly passing along the message. Once Leo sent Vivian's exact address, I grabbed a stack of photos and rushed over there with a friend. I hadn't seen her since coming back, kinda missed her. Barely at the door, we heard Vivian's quiet sobs from inside. I gently pushed the door open, seeing her teary face on the hospital bed. Her head was surprisingly bald in spots, iodine covering bits of it, with a gauze bigger than a handprint on her face. What a fitting pair of words, why cover them up? I chuckled. Heard Jack did this himself. You've been with him for years, surely he'd show some mercy, right? How'd such a pretty lady end up with the word slut on her face? You dared to snatch Lisa's precious man. Guess a beating was bound to happen. Vivian's face changed colors like a chameleon, turning red, then green, then black. She insisted, I'm just after love, is that wrong? How was I to know she liked Mark too? Lisa's on the brink, she's not fit to compete with me for a guy. Once I recover, Mark and I will run away together. That tramp isn't fit to shine Mark's shoes. Once he's back from France, we're getting married. Jack's not a real man. The other night, he couldn't. I had to force things. You should divorce him now, or you'll be a living widow forever. That's someone really ruthless. I thought about using photos to shame her, but it seemed useless. Shameless people are invincible. I smiled and said, I hope you, Jack, and your Mark stay together forever. Then I tried to leave with my bestie. Fiona snorted, broke free from my hand, and slapped her. Shameless. Stealing someone else's man and acting justified, pouncing on any guy like an animal, embarrassing all women. You'll die because of men one day. I chuckled at Fiona. Keep talking if you've got more to say. Vivian cried, maybe her wounds hurt. We were in that room for less than 5 minutes, and the rest was Fiona's show. On the way home, a coworker sent me a video. My mother-in-law was kneeling at the company gate, surrounded by onlookers. She said, call Cindy out to save Lisa. If she doesn't come out, I won't get up. I gripped the steering wheel tight. That old witch is despicable. For Mary's safety, I've been so cautious. In a previous life, I managed to clean them up in a week. I turned back to the company, called the police, and had Leo's nephew keep an eye on Mary, making sure she didn't leave school. We arrived with the police. My mother-in-law only saw me and cried, Cindy, help her. Only you can save Lisa. She's just 27, in her prime. How can you watch her die? Oh, believe me, I'd love nothing more than to celebrate her departure with a song. I asked, suspicious, how am I supposed to help? I'm not a doctor. You're wasting your time. She crawled toward me quickly and clung to my leg. Mary can save her. I beg you, return Mary to me. Lisa is my daughter. She can't die. I'm begging you, if you agree to the transplant, I'll serve you for the rest of my life. I looked at her coldly, knowing they've never given up on this idea. But when she said it aloud, my heart felt like it was stabbed. Mary is Jack's daughter, her own granddaughter. How could she be so heartless? Do you know that you can't take a kidney from a 13-year-old? It's a crime, and no hospital will perform this surgery. In a whisper, my mother-in-law said, we can find a private clinic. Just bring Mary, and we'll handle the rest. Unbelievable, they've found every loophole. I turned to the officer, my daughter's just 13. First it was the Berlin hospital, now it's a small clinic. They've repeatedly tried to take her kidney, ignoring the law. Now my daughter is too afraid to leave home. Please arrest them all. She followed my gaze and rubbed her eyes, filled with anger. Cindy, how can you be so heartless? We're family. I'm on my knees begging you. How can you do this to me? My Lisa, she can't die. If she dies, I'll throw myself at your company doors. So, her daughter deserves to live, but mine should be reduced to spare parts. I stared her down. Thanks for your countless senseless dramas. To avoid causing the company any trouble, I've quit my job there. If you die here, out of human decency, I'll buy you some fake money for your journey to the afterlife. She went ballistic. That was her pampered little sister. All she could think of was how to get Mary's kidney. I was the only way. She lunged at me. Cindy, if my daughter dies, so does yours. Let's all die together. Adrenaline pumped through me. Just one step closer and I could kick her in the chest. It'd be self-defense if she died. But 2 officers stopped her. Such a shame. I was ready. She was pinned down, screaming, I just want to save my daughter. I'm not wrong. You're all evil. You'll never have peace. The police took her to the station to be with her son. Little sis must be lonely in the hospital I had to visit. I've been visiting hospitals a lot lately, but it's been satisfying. I went with my bestie to the hospital. They'd already caused trouble at Berlin hospital, so they had to find another. As we got off the elevator, we heard Lisa smashing things. Fiona and I exchanged glances. Some people just can't take it. I calmly pushed open the door. Lisa's face was unnaturally red, her hair thinning. Seeing me, there was a glint of hope in her eyes. Sis-in-law, can I borrow your phone? Did something happen to Mark? Why isn't he picking up? Wow, who knew men could be so useful? Seeing me silent, she spoke hurriedly. Sis-in-law, Mark loves me most. He promised me a grand wedding. That skank Vivian is sleeping with Mark. Go beat her up. Once she's gone, your brother will come back to you. Mark will find a kidney for me. I'll give him a big, fat son, and we'll always be together. Oh, the fantasies she's got. I calmly pulled out my phone and played Vivian's cursing recording. Lisa's eyes went red with anger, her breath quickening. I softly said, I don't care about your brother. If you can get up, go beat her yourself. Seeing her fume and roll her eyes, I felt so much better. Oh right, your mom just caused a scene at my company and got arrested. Lisa threw an orange at me. I caught it gently. You're so sweet to me. Thank you. Get out, get out. I refused, sat down with my bestie, finished her fruit, and then left. I heard about Lisa's death on the news. She went after Vivian with a kitchen knife to settle the score, but ended up getting killed instead. Vivian chopped her up into little pieces and washed them down the sewer. Jack got out of the detention center and searched everywhere for his sister. He finally had to report it to the police to find her. There were only 2 suspects, so it wasn't hard to find out. Vivian's injuries never healed and just kept getting worse. Eventually, when she got checked out at the hospital, it turned out she had AIDS. They put her in the infectious disease ward, and everyone stayed far away from her. Jack lost it because he had been with Vivian recently. On his way to get checked at the hospital, Leon attacked him. Leon was a doctor friend who lost his job and was treated like a public enemy because of Jack. The cops caught Leon, but not before Jack got hacked up pretty bad. He ended up with AIDS too, and was stuck in bed with festering wounds and maggots wriggling around, smelling awful. Their mother came out of the detention center completely insane. Her beloved daughter was dead, and her son was stuck in bed waiting to die. She came looking for me at the company, but I had already moved to another city. The divorce papers were finalized, and I had nothing to do with that family anymore. I took Mary and started fresh in a new city, with Leo's lawyer nephew tagging along. He said, I'm worried about Mary. There are too many bad people out there. I can't leave her alone. Mary was all smiles. Why would I refuse a boy who wants to protect her from such a young age? Later, Leo's lawyer told me that the crazy old lady caught AIDS while taking care of Jack. She bought rat poison and killed herself and Jack. Their bodies were discovered only after the stench alerted neighbors. 6 months later, the Berlin hospital got busted for all sorts of illegal stuff. They fired everyone from top to bottom, and 23 people got sent to jail. Leon got a 25-year sentence. As for me, I held my daughter's hand and we walked confidently towards our new life.